Murphy, once known as Karen Lake, has returned from the psychiatric hospital, but she is no longer the hopeful wrestler she used to be. The scene opens in the general manager's office. The GM confronts Murphy, reminding her that she should still be in the hospital and has no business being in the arena. Murphy doesn't back down. She insists she refuses to take the blame for a crime she didn't commit. At the same time, she reveals just how unstable her mental state has become, even questioning her own memories. It's clear she no longer trusts anyone, not even herself. When the GM warns her that she'll lose her job if she continues this behavior, Murphy responds with an intimidating personal threat. The confrontation quickly shifts from a professional disagreement into psychological intimidation. Murphy steps closer and closer until the GM is visibly frightened. She describes feeling liberated, saying she no longer cares about consequences and that she now lives entirely by her own rules. She then humiliates and assaults the GM, blaming her and the rest of the women's locker room for abandoning her when she was framed. Murphy declares that everyone is now her enemy, even former friends. Laughing as she leaves, she shows that she enjoys the fear she creates. The following week, Holmes wins another match. Before Holmes can celebrate, Murphy attacks from behind with another brutal ambush. Holmes initially tries to fight back, but the moment Murphy reaches for the bottle she has become associated with, Holmes immediately retreats from the ring. Even though the bottle doesn't fully hit her, the near miss is enough to embarrass and rattle Holmes. Murphy climbs onto the ropes, laughing wildly while promising that their rivalry is far from over. The crowd reacts with a mixture of cheers, laughter, and shock. Murphy then grabs a microphone. Instead of accepting the fans' support, she rejects them completely. She says that although she may eventually forgive Michelle for believing the false evidence, she will never forgive the audience for turning against her before and after she was framed. From Murphy's perspective, the fans help destroy Karen Lake. Her speech becomes increasingly hateful and erratic, ending with extreme violent threats toward the audience. Those threats show that Murphy has become completely detached from reality and is willing to say horrifying things simply to terrify everyone watching. She finishes by mocking the crowd with an arrogant walk and an obscene middle finger before leaving the arena. Suddenly, Murphy appears. Instead of helping Michelle because they're friends again, Murphy attacks Holmes out of hatred. She humiliates Holmes, then locks in her version of the Scorpion Deathlock. Another member of Holmes' faction charges at Murphy, but Murphy counters with her finishing move, the Execution, a flipping reverse DDT-style attack. Despite Murphy stopping the interference, Michelle is distracted long enough to lose the match. Afterward, Michelle and Murphy stand face to face in the ring. Neither woman attacks. The audience is left wondering whether they're enemies, friends, or something in between. Michelle's emotional promo. Later, Michelle admits she misses her childhood friend. She tells the audience that Karen Lake, the woman she grew up with, is gone. In her eyes, Karen died the day she became Murphy. She doesn't see a friend anymore. She sees a dangerous clown who has lost her grip on reality. Holmes' lies are exposed. Holmes interrupts and mocks both women. She insists Murphy is nothing more than a disgusting psychopath. Murphy appears with evidence. Security footage reveals one of Holmes' followers wearing Karen's jacket on the night Michelle was attacked. Another recording exposes Holmes' group discussing using AI voice cloning to imitate Karen's voice and frame her for the assault. Everything Karen had claimed months earlier was true. She really had been framed. Michelle immediately realizes she betrayed an innocent friend. Overcome with anger, she attacks Holmes. Murphy attacks anyway. Although Michelle has finally learned the truth, Murphy still attacks her. She strikes Michelle with a steel chair. She climbs onto the ropes while Michelle slowly stands. Murphy forms an X with both middle fingers before launching into the Execution, driving her knee into Michelle's face. Standing over Michelle, Murphy makes a finger gun gesture as if executing her before calmly leaving. This tells the audience something important. Murphy wanted the truth revealed, but the truth alone isn't enough to earn forgiveness. Murphy's new entrance, Murphy debuts a completely new presentation. She enters wearing clown-inspired face paint with black and green hair, a leather jacket, and gothic leather pants. Her entrance music is American Horror Show. The fans unexpectedly begin singing along with the chorus. Instead of enjoying the support, Murphy becomes irritated. She tears up a fan's Murphy's #1 sign, flips off the fan, and walks to the ring. This reinforces her character. She doesn't want admiration anymore. She wants discomfort. Holmes interrupts Murphy opens by insulting the audience, calling them sheep for blindly changing their opinions. Holmes interrupts and mocks Murphy's appearance, calling her a Joker copycat. Murphy answers with sarcasm instead of anger. She pretends to cry dramatically before insulting Holmes's blonde hair and threatening to humiliate her again. Their exchange becomes less about wrestling and more about psychological warfare. Michelle apologizes. Michelle comes to the ring and sincerely apologizes. She admits she was wrong for believing the fake evidence. She asks Murphy what she can do to earn forgiveness. Murphy stares at her silently. At first, it almost sounds like she might forgive Michelle. Instead, Murphy recounts the trauma she experienced in the psychiatric hospital, being abandoned, isolated, and feeling forgotten. She says Michelle never visited her. To Murphy, that betrayal hurts more than the false accusations. Then Murphy's personality shifts. She suddenly starts joking in an exaggerated, playful voice about friendship bracelets, matching tattoos, and other bizarre ideas. Michelle doesn't know whether Murphy is joking or serious. Murphy then hugs Michelle. For a brief second, it looks like the old friendship might return. Instead, Murphy licks Michelle's face and kisses her cheek, making the moment deeply uncomfortable. This shows Murphy enjoys making people feel confused and uneasy. Holmes snaps. Holmes finally loses patience and shoves Murphy away. She mocks Murphy's behavior and tells Michelle to stop trying to reconnect with her. Michelle tells Holmes to calm down. Holmes coldly reminds Michelle of the stabbing, threatening her again. The confrontation almost becomes a fight. Murphy begins acting even stranger, pretending to fight an invisible opponent on the floor before standing back up. Holmes calls her insane. Murphy laughs because she thinks Holmes' insults don't matter anymore. Finally, Murphy accepts Holmes' challenge. She says they'll settle everything at Ultimate X, where the winner will climb the structure, retrieve the briefcase and earn the championship, and decide Michelle's championship. Murphy leaves laughing as the screen fades to black.